Amplify Daily number 54, organic list building. This is pillar number 2 in the 4 pillars inside of my copy paste sale expert framework. Pillar number 1 is audience building. Pillar number 2, list building. Pillar number 3 is warm network campaigns. And pillar number 4 is marketing and sales automation. These are the 4 pillars that if you are an expert who is looking to create automated or passive income online through scaling your expertise in the form of courses, memberships, intensives, half day summits, ebooks, things like that, without having to spend a ton of money on things like ads, without having to hire a sales team, well, anything like that. You are going to need to have those 4 pillars in place. Otherwise, you have to manufacture that traffic from somewhere. So we talked about audience building already. I want to talk to you about list building. Audience building being using social media in very leveraged ways to create thousands, tens of thousands of eyeballs who are checking for you online, who are paying attention to your platform, who are following your thought leadership. Well, how do you then transition those eyeballs from online on social media onto actual lists in your CRM in a way where you are actually qualifying them, in a way where you now have their direct phone number and or information so that you can follow up with them. From my perspective, and a lot of people define marketing and sales in different ways. For me, a person is someone who I'm marketing to when I do anything that the correct call to action for them or the correct response for them would be like, I'd like to know more about that, right? If you wear a t-shirt, if you put on a hat that has a call to action on it, if you run an ad, if you put out a social media post, if you send an email, literally anything that you do that interrupts someone's existing narrative about a program, product, or service that they're currently buying and has them start to consider something new and say, I'd like to know more about that thing. That's marketing. That's marketing. Someone is not in your sales cycle until you actually collect some information directly from them that allows you to contact them directly, one to one. So, a phone number, an email address, something that allows you to reach out to them directly. If they're just a Facebook fan or a Facebook follower or an Instagram follower or a YouTube subscriber, you don't necessarily have the opportunity or the ability to contact them directly unless that platform allows you to. And you're limited by your reach on that platform. You're limited by the ads when you run them, who they decide to show them to. You don't have one-to-one direct contact with those folks. And your email list, your text list, this is literally like an ATM, y'all. It is literally like an ATM. The more people you have on your list who are qualified, who are interested in what you have to offer, this allows you anytime you want to, whether it's a warm network launch of a new program, product, or service, or it is a monthly activation campaign of some sort, which, think of that like a multi-day series of communications that is ending in some sort of event. So it's an event anchored communication campaign. And that event at the end of it might be a masterclass. It might be a 3-day accelerator. It might be a half day summit. It might be an orientation event. It might be an onboarding call. It might be an FAQ session. There's a bunch of different iterations of events that can come at the end of the campaign. But the goal is, if you're doing a monthly brand activation campaign, it is a multi-day story series that at the end of it, you're inviting them to an event. And during that event, you're gonna make an invitation or offer for them to buy something. So that would be a brand activation, distinct from a launch campaign, which is launching or relaunching a program, product, or service. So both campaigns, but different. We'll talk more about about campaigns when I get to that part of the copy paste sale expert framework. But for now, list building is really important. Why? Because it allows you to transition all of those eyeballs, all that interest off of social media, and bring them into a list that is actually yours, that you own, and you now have the opportunity to reach out to these people directly at your discretion. And you still have to honor that list and respect their time and attention, or else they will go indifferent to opening your emails. But this is the best opportunity to begin to transition those eyeballs into opportunities for real leads to come into your system. Building your list is really, really, really critical if you're going to be someone who has the ability to basically print money with your information business. You need to have people who you can actually launch to, people who you can actually sell to on a consistent basis. And the best way to do that is when you're nurturing a list of people who found you somewhere and then said, "Hey, I'd like to know more about this. Please keep me in mind." And they jump on your list. So that's why list building is important. If you have not started doing that yet, if you are having people go to web pages and no lead capture available, there's no pop-up anywhere that gives people an opportunity to stay connected, um, there's no strategic kind of lead capture mechanism. For me, I don't really like the traditional. It's called lead magnet, where it's kind of like, well, jump on this list and I'll give you my free blah blah blah. You know, that's not really, everybody does that. So I don't really like doing that. I like sending people either to what I call an access list or an alert list, which is a dedicated page where you can, um, the narrative is join my access list for ongoing, kind of access to this kind of information or this group. That's my preference, is to, they're joining because they're genuinely interested in the ongoing information. It's not for like a one-time thing and then we try to sell them. I want to bring them in the context of, you're going to be hearing from me consistently over time, which is why I prefer the alert list or access list narrative. And outside of that, I really like using things like readiness quizzes, like score based quizzes for things, because everybody's interested in knowing, how do I stack up? What's my score as it relates to XYZ? So those tend to be things where you can switch the frame right away. And when someone lands on that page, they're interested in actually taking the next step. They're interested in finding out how they fit into this framework that you have. And those quizzes are a great opportunity to both find out about your customer avatar, but also to train them on your framework in real time. Let me show you what I mean real quick. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all a few examples of how I approach list building. All right, first, let me show y'all for my financial education community, Mindset to Money. Somebody lands on the site, whether they've coming from, a paid ad or something like that, or wherever they're coming from. The landing page is always going to be, in my structure is pretty simple and clear. You're pretty much always going to get header, subheader, kind of focus of the page here for call to action. What I want you to do, a click to learn more button, which is, it's never going to say register for this or buy that. Always going to be learn more. Consideration always precedes commitment. And, more context here. There's always going to be an image or a video here. And if it's both, sometimes there's a thumbnail with an image that kind of tells a story. And then you click that and there's a video. But there's always going to be visual or video plus, details here that are going to say what the, focal point of the page is. And if there's a video, the context here will say something similar to what the video has. And there's nowhere to really scroll. So you're going to take that next step, find your biggest financial roadblock. Is that worth one click to learn more? Not to commit, but to learn more. This is part of the list building. Okay, so I'm inviting you to learn more about this. Is it worth one click? Yeah, it's worth a click for a lot of people. If you're the person who's actually in a place where you're looking for financial autonomy. So we are focused on a certain type of person landing on that page. But now you found yourself on the page, complete your financial autonomy quiz. And that's what I meant before. Like, even if it's a thumbnail, it's going to be a graphic of some sort that tells you what this video is about. So replace earned income with automated income, retire yourself, fancy degrees not necessary, current cash doesn't matter, start where you are. Is that worth one click? 54 seconds. A lot of times people won't give you the visual of how many seconds or minutes the video is. Like, people need to understand what the commitment is. Time is important. So I want to let them know this 54 seconds, is it worth one click? And if they're not sure before they click, this is going to say mostly what is in that video. And so this is all, again, around list building. I want to give you just enough so that you can decide, is it worth it to you to actually take a next step and get close to being on my list. So what am I promising you? Find your biggest financial roadblock, find the 6 stages of financial development you're in now and what's due next. This quiz, you're going to find out which of the 6 rings that you're in. You're in survival mode, ring 2. So if I'm this person, everything up to this point looks clean, clear, it's professional. On the previous page, I was told I'm going to find my biggest financial roadblock in 5 minutes. I see that again here, financial clarity in 5 minutes. But in addition to that, I'm going to find out which stage of the 6 stages of financial development I'm in. What's that? I don't know what that is. I'm not clear about that. I'm curious though. Ring 1, ring 2, financial stability, survival mode, financial flexibility, financial independence. Where do I rank on the 6 rings? I'm probably curious. Is that worth a click? It probably is. It probably is. So I'm not looking to get their information. I want to demonstrate value first before I even ask for their information, because they're in my process now. And this is what I mean by your list building process, your lead qualification process. Your list building process can both qualify your leads and train your leads on your framework at the same time. Let me show you what I mean. As people go through my financial autonomy quiz, we're going to ask questions like, well, how would you describe your monthly income? Break even. If you had an emergency, how would you describe the cash? Less than 1,000, less than 5,000, 1 month of bills. They're going to select whatever they select. If you're and notice also that the next question doesn't show until they've initiated something on the previous question. We want this to be a progressive quiz that always gives them like one new thing, one new visual. When it's a big long page all at once, people tune out immediately. One thing to do at a time. If your credit score is a movie, what would be the title? And so, it's not just strictly objective. This kind of adds a little bit of levity into it. Average Joe on the come up. All right, so this is keeping my interest. Which of these statements below best describes your current overall financial position? This question right here is our primary qualification mechanism. Notice we have a 6-stage financial development structure, or the 6 rings, one of those 6 places. This question right here lets us know exactly which ring they're in. They're either in ring 1 through 6. And so if they say check to check, bills not always paid, we also are able to qualify, are they a higher income person who's in survival mode, or are they a lower income person who's in survival mode? We call those survival income, being if you're somebody who your monthly income is covering your living expenses, survival, but once you add in your lifestyle expenses, leisure, that's when your monthly income doesn't always meet the need. That's somebody who's just got a budgeting issue. Okay, that's different than the person who's got insufficient income. Their baseline monthly income doesn't cover their living expense or their lifestyle expense. That's the person who's, their income literally just isn't enough. They're in 2 different places, even though they're in the same ring. And so it helps people to qualify that. And then also in ring 2, which we don't tell them this is ring 2, but this is ring 2, bills consistently paid, little to no money left over. There's a variety of reasons somebody could be here. They're either in stable income, which means that my monthly income covers my basic living expenses, survival, and my lifestyle expenses, leisure, but there's no money left over. Again, this is generally a budgeting issue for a higher income earner. You can be in, six figures, multiple six figures, and still be somebody who's in this ring two financial stability where bills are paid, but there's nothing left over. And then if you're in ring two and you've got unstable income, that means that your monthly income covers your basic living expenses, survival, but there's nothing left over for leisure. Okay, and again, that's somebody who's just literally not making enough money. And the strategy for those people and the programs that we recommend to them are going to be different, and we're segmenting them right from this stage. So this is list building, but we're list building in a way where if they've gotten to this place, like they're probably interested. They're like, this is actually a really comprehensive quiz. This is useful. I want to see where this goes. And so they're going to click next. And we're going to now give them a little bit of indoctrination into our framework. Time is our most important asset. All income and revenue is not created equal. Passive investment income, passive. A lot of people haven't even heard of passive income. What does that mean? Processing people completely managed by third parties. Active passive income requires ongoing time managing people in process. This is a core understanding that we need people to have about the mindset to money framework versus everything else they're going to learn out in the marketplace. We don't just want passive income. We want passive income like rich people get, where you get to send your money out and it comes back with friends. That is a key qualifier and what makes us different from just about everybody else. And so we're going to just start to seed our framework right now. Recurring business revenue. What do you mean? Passive recurring revenue versus active recurring revenue. Again, processing people completely managed by third parties versus active recurring requires ongoing time managing people in process. One of the core distinctions of Mindset to Money is it's not all about your passive income from investments. We're also looking for passive revenue from businesses that are simple, unsophisticated, that you can buy and have a virtual assistant manage. These are the kinds of non-traditional ways of making money that we talk about, but we're seeding this right inside of our quiz. Now, this part right here, we talk about 12-month financial goals. We are seeding the close right here, but we're also letting them take ownership of their experience. If Mindset to Money membership helped me to blank inside the next 12 months, I could see myself becoming a member. If it helped me to budget, if it helped me to, like my personal credit, yeah, if it helped me with business funding, business buying, yeah, definitely. Exact list of questions, things to consider before making a new investment. That would be interesting. Yeah. So all of this stuff, we have master classes that are a one-to-one match with each one of these categories, which is why they're here. So if somebody fills this out, they are literally telling us right here in this quiz what programs and products and services they want. And it's giving us the opportunity to provide value as soon as this quiz is in and say, hey, people like you generally like this kind of, content that we've got available based on what you said. So it's not general speculation. We are literally segmenting them. We're going to offer up stuff that's a one-to-one match to what they say they want. And we always not just get the quantitative information, we want the qualitative information too. We're always going to ask questions so that we can gather in their own words what they want and why they're here. And this allows us to start to understand the broader narratives of what our customers are looking for and tighten up our marketing narratives to align with their exact words going forward as we see those patterns. So I'm gonna keep going. Let me step to a new form here. Oh, this is important in the list building process. A lot of people are scared to do this. We always ask, how'd you hear about us? And we ask in a comprehensive way. We give them, literally like everything they need to choose from of where they might have found us. And it seems like a lot, but it only takes them, 10, 15 seconds. They know whether they came from Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or wherever. So if they say, for example, found you on Instagram, then this pops up. Well, how did you hear about Mindset to Money on Instagram? Saw it on somebody's page. Somebody shared a reel or a story, direct message, happened to see about it in the general feed, saw an ad. Yeah, saw an ad. And then we ask, what are your preferred social networks? This is a mandatory question, and people don't seem to mind answering it. Well, I prefer Instagram and Twitter. So we're going to ask, hey, this is optional, but would you like for us to tag you in Instagram images of you and or events that you attend? Please input your Instagram handle. If so, people will give you their social media handles, and then you could tag them later and use this to manufacture momentum on your posts because they've said, hey, yeah, tag me on stuff on your IG. Cool. And same thing with Twitter or Facebook or whatever. So these are just some simple hacks that you can use in your list building process to have really qualified lists. You are absolutely going to get less people who sign up, not as few as you think. It still is going to be way more than you think, as long as you're making qualified offers to a clearly defined audience. But those people who come through are going to be so much more high intent in terms of wanting to purchase. Here's another one. So when you land on our property preservation site, I'm going to show you our readiness assessment. So this is what our readiness assessment looks like. It is a pretty deep dive form. As you see, it's 10 steps. And we ask a lot of questions. We ask about their time, their money, do they have the $2,000 of hard costs? This is a comprehensive quiz. We've had 6,000 people to fill this thing out. Don't believe that just because you're asking for more deep dive information, that people won't give it to you. You just have to have an offer that is actually aligned with what they want, which is better for you and better for them. Now I'm going to show y'all what these access list pages look like that I talked about a little bit earlier in the video. This is a very simple narrative that I like to use instead of doing the whole lead magnet thing. We're download my free list of 30 whatever and join our list. I don't like doing that because I prefer to have the intent be clear right from moment one, that if you're here to actually get information. So you are signing up and raising your hand to hear from us over time. And here's why. You're here because, a little bit of social proof here. We're led by 15 plus year industry vets, and they've grown their brand to 15 million plus. This is a company that I'm partnered with on the online education side. And we're going to give a little bit of background on, the community. If you're here, you're a clothing brand owner and you're looking to get to your first $1,000 a month, $1,000 day, and scale to 7 figures and beyond. And then a quick 60-second video that says that same context and makes it clear that if you want ongoing access to this kind of information, jump on this list. So it's not the free download. It's really, are you interested in this? If yes, you're going to hear more from us. Cool. Once they go here, I'm going to qualify this even more. Again, are you this person? If so, do you want this thing? You want access to our 7-figure growth path, the exact actions to take to get here? Cool. And then also another qualifier, if you're looking for free, you are in the wrong place. Head over to our YouTube channel. We got over 200 free videos you can access. But if you're ready to get a community around you, accelerate, learn from 8-figure founders, this is the group for you. And so we're very clear from moment one, this is not for people who just want to peek and see. A lot of folks are scared to actually qualify their list. But tell people right up front, this is not for you if you're just here to play around. Are you here to spend money? Cool. Then we've got some programs we want to show you that are going to accelerate you. But if you're just still want to stay in the free, that's fine too. No problem. Go view our YouTube. We got 200 free videos, but this isn't the spot for you. And this question right here is the primary question we're going to use to segment this group. So these are the 5 milestones that we have for where people are at on their journey and, and activate your vision. So as a clothing brand owner, inside of their defined framework, you're in one of these 5 places. And we're not telling them that we're segmenting them. We're segmenting them. We know exactly where they fit on their customer ascension journey based on this answer. So if they're in milestone 1 or milestone 2, create your vision or focus your vision, they're going to be a good fit for our Activate Your Vision University, which is a $247 per quarter offer, $797 per year. and it's designed to get them to their first $1,000 a month and their first $2,500 a month inside of 60 days. If they are in milestone 3 or milestone 4, they're appropriate for our Activate Your Vision Mastermind, which is a $3,500 program. It's 90 days, and it's designed exclusively to get them to their first $10,000 a month and $10,000 every month after that. If they are in milestone 5, they're appropriate for our Activate Your Vision Inner Circle, which is a $10,000 program designed exclusively to get them to their first $100,000 a month and 100,000 or more every single month, getting them their first 7-figure year. So the segmentation and the list building process is incredibly important because it tells you exactly where to go in terms of what programs, products, and services you're going to offer your people. And I'll show you another alert list page. This is for one of my personal events, Launch in a Day. I'm going to be doing this next month. But this page, again, is designed to give you a little bit of social proof up here. My frameworks for warm network launch and sales automation make experts millions of dollars. Learn how to turn your expertise into passive income online in 24 hours flat. The fundamental promise of this event is you will launch in a day. And that is not marketing. It's not a gimmick. It's a real thing, like 24 hours, your thing is up, launched, out in the world. That's the launch in a day. And context for who you are. You're a well-paid expert. You've got an existing consulting framework or signature talk that you currently sell online, but your business requires you to trade more hours if you want to make more dollars. Join us. Okay, that's pretty clear. Is that worth a click? Yeah, let me find out more about this. And so again, this second page here is going to further qualify before we actually have them go through the form. Are you an expert? And I'm going to define expert for them so they don't have to be confused. Are you a coach, trainer, speaker, or consultant? Do you have an existing consulting framework or signature talk that you currently sell offline and you want to make money on autopilot via online courses, challenges, memberships, intensives, or information products? Ready to turn your expertise into passive income online in 24 hours? Join the alert list to receive updates about Launch in a Day Live and other online luminary resources, programs, trainings, and events. So again, this is a very clear narrative. If you're this person searching for this thing and you want to get ongoing information, join us here. This is not the download my free thing and then I'm going to try to sell you something later. This is you are signing up to hear from us. Let me show you another alert list page. This is for another online education brand that I'm partnered with. This is Whitney Bonds. We're in the process of launching her YouTube Cash course live program right now. But again, quick social proof. I've made over $300,000 in the last 12 months, primarily from affiliate commissions and ad revenue, making a couple videos per month on YouTube. And a little bit of background here, context on who you are and why you'd want to join. Are you looking for a way to make full-time passive income, working part-time hours from home, without the hustle or risk of trading, investing, crypto, wholesaling, or landlording? Learn how I make full-time passive income from home, creating a couple YouTube videos per month. Is that worth a click? That's all we're ever looking for, is one click at a time. Is that worth a click? Yeah, it probably is. And is that worth them, if they're interested in this context, probably getting on the access list to learn more about this? Not downloading something, but no, I want to raise my hand and hear more about this. Yes, it is. Cool. When they join this access list, they're going to be immediately redirected to the Facebook group for this offer after they join the access list, which takes literally 10 seconds. But now they're on our list. They're on our CRM. We're not sending them directly to the Facebook group. They're on our CRM first. And then after they get on our CRM, they're redirected to the Facebook group. And once they're in the Facebook group, they are now met with a value post every single day of Whitney dropping another income stream that she's making right now. Here's how I did it. Quick video every single day. So there's tons of value that they're getting right away. And the ultimate invitation is to the event that's happening on March 2nd. But over time, that event will be automated. It'll be a half day summit or a full day online event That'll happen once a week, every week. And we'll just continue inviting people to the Facebook group, and they'll get the invitation inside the Facebook group for that event, which again is going to happen on Evergreen after we do it the first time. And so this access list narrative never goes away. And this is the Activate Your Vision Masterclass. So I'm gonna show y'all this page. So when they go to register for an event, this is what our masterclass learn more page looks like. Always consideration precedes commitment. I never send people to a registration page directly. You're always going to have a slight bit of attrition based on that, but I prefer for people to always have those micro commitments first, where they're saying, yes, I do want to learn more, click, and then they get to the registration page. And here on the registration page, you'll notice that on every single one of our forms, no matter what, you are always going to be met with this question first. What stage are you at on your growth path? Why? Because we want to segment folks. It does not matter whether you come in to our funnel on our access list, or from our 3-day brand accelerator, or from our half-day summit, or our orientation event, or our masterclass. Like, it doesn't matter how you got on the list. What matters is when you register for that thing, we are going to identify what segment that you fit in, so that all of our communications from that point forward to you on our list can be appropriate, can be timely, and can be in context for what matters to you based on where you're at in your journey. Because we know what the biggest roadblocks and predictable solutions are for you based on what stage that you're in. And so if you're not doing list building, particularly qualified list building, you're really missing a huge opportunity to serve your audience and accelerate your sales cycle. And the last thing I'm going to show you here is from my launch in a day page. The narrative is different. It is not a registration page. You can't just register to attend. You can apply to attend. This is an attraction-based narrative. So it flips the context on its head right away. And you're like, wait a minute, I can't just buy? No. Okay, well, I'm now interested in this form. What's happening that I can't just buy? Let me check this out. So when you put in your information, um, what we'll find is this is a very deep dive application process to attend launch in a day. First question I met with is expert identity. Do you want the foundational narrative of your online education business to directly support and grow your identity in the marketplace as a go-to expert in your industry? Of course I do. Yeah. Well, which statement best describes your current identity? Huh. Never really thought about that. Am I an unknown expert, a known expert, a celebrated expert, an expert icon, or a historical figure? Yo, okay. I guess I'm probably, am I known or am I celebrated? Huh. Maybe I'm known. So you see how this forces them to start thinking, right? They start to think about where they're at, and you're indoctrinating them into your framework. Which statement best describes the identity I desire to have? Ooh, okay. Do I want to be like a historical figure? An expert icon, a celebrated expert? Hmm. Is it okay to even say that out loud? Is it okay to say I want to be a historical figure? Like, I want to have that kind of impact on the world? This is the moment where your list, right, or your lead generation mechanism, this application also becomes a micro transformation tool for your audience to begin to confront things about themselves that have your process stand out from anybody else's. Who is asking you questions like this, right? Who, and especially before they let you attend an event. So if you go through this process, in the actual application process, you are having to confront things about your belief system, about yourself, about what you actually want for yourself versus what you think you can have. And so those little bitty things that are happening inside of your brain and your body, that separates this process from anything that you've gone through before. And by the time you're through with it, you're like, man, I got to be at this event. I hope that they allow me to attend. It's no longer, am I willing to pay the 1,500 or 1,000? I can't even remember what the price on this thing is. It's no longer that. By the time you get through this process, you're like, man, I really hope that they make an invitation because I got to be at this event. How widely do you desire to be known as an expert? First, I'm going to ask the qualifier, how widely are you known? Locally, regionally, nationally? No, nationally. How widely do you desire to be known? Yeah, I want to be known globally. Is it okay to say that? Like, man, that's kind of scary. Going through the process. How much net income above profit above all expenses do you want your online programs to generate? Greater than 10,000 a month. What's the minimum amount of net income that you'd be willing to take, and still put hours into it? Is it this? Is it this? I don't know. Going to qualify their time commitment. We're going to qualify their framework. Do they have a framework right now? Do they have a signature talk for their brand? Is their framework documented in full? So these are the things that I'm now going to be exposing, the areas where I know some of them don't have, most of them don't have their full framework documented in print. And so now we're exposing the areas where they're going to now start thinking like, man, I need to be at this event. I don't have the stuff that I need to move forward. Now we're exposing their gaps. And when you start exposing their gaps, you demonstrate that you're the expert. And this is without them ever even having a phone call with you. It's probably a no, actually. Now we're going to ask about their social media. What channels are you active? And what's the size of your audience, etc. I think y'all have seen enough at this point, and I hope that you understand that when we're talking about list building. Let me stop sharing my screen for a minute. So I hope that y'all understand at this point that when we are talking about list building, this is an amazing opportunity for you to develop qualified leads, a qualified structure for reaching out to the people that are joining your list, that not only educates them about your brand, but also lets you know exactly who they are, exactly where they're at in your process, and exactly what programs, products, services, communications, invites to send to them that are going to be appropriate for where they're at, and they're going to be most aligned with things that they're looking for right now. Why and how? Because they told you that. You just got to be willing to ask. All right, y'all, that was Amplify Daily. The next pillar that we're going to cover in my 4 pillars for my copy paste sell expert framework. Again, pillar 1 was audience building, online organic audience building. Pillar 2 was organic list building. The third pillar is going to be warm network campaigns. And network campaign, that could be a launch campaign or a relaunch campaign. And it can also be a monthly brand activation for programs, for event-based programs you already have. So half-day summits, 3-day accelerators, 5-day challenges, masterclasses, orientations, onboarding events, Q&A events. All of these are just iterations of some sort of multi-day story series anchored in an event-based ending that has people show up to something on a real date and time and be made an invitation or offer. Generally, that is time sensitive. That's going to have them poop or get off the pot. All right, y'all. Amplify Daily.